In the early 1990s, while serving as First Lady of Arkansas, Hillary Clinton was already known for her commitment to children's welfare and legal reform. She wasn't content with ceremonial duties. She wanted to create tangible change, especially for those who had no one advocating for them. One such case came to her attention through a legal aid clinic in Little Rock. A 28-year-old woman named Linda Carter had been fighting for custody of her two young children after fleeing an abusive marriage. Her husband, a local businessman with political connections, used his influence to delay court proceedings, hire high-powered lawyers, and paint her as an unfit mother. Linda, working as a part-time cashier and living in a shelter, had no money for legal representation. She had filed for protection, but the system moved slowly. By the time her case reached family court, she had already lost temporary custody and was only allowed supervised visits. She feared she might never see her children again. What made her case stand out to Clinton wasn't just the injustice, it was the pattern. She had seen too many women trapped in similar situations, their rights ignored because they lacked resources or status. As chair of the Arkansas Advocacy Project for Children, Clinton had long pushed for reforms in child welfare and domestic violence protection. When she reviewed Linda's file, she didn't just express sympathy. She took action. She contacted a network of pro bono lawyers she had helped organize through the Arkansas Bar Association and personally recommended Linda's case for urgent representation. She also reached out to social workers and child psychologists to ensure the court received unbiased evaluations of the children's well-being. But more than legal support, Clinton ensured that Linda had emotional and logistical backing, access to counseling, transportation to court dates, and even temporary housing through a women's shelter program she had helped fund. The custody battle lasted months. There were setbacks, false accusations, and attempts to discredit Linda's character. But with strong legal defense and documented evidence of abuse, including medical reports and witness statements, the court eventually ruled in her favor. When Linda was reunited with her children, she wept not just from relief, but from the realization that someone in power had actually fought for her. Clinton never attended the final hearing. She didn't need to. But she received a handwritten note from Linda, thanking her not for changing the law, but for making her feel like she mattered. This case became a catalyst for broader reform. Clinton used it as a case study in her push for faster domestic violence hearings, better training for judges, and expanded access to legal aid for low-income women. She also advocated for the creation of family justice centers, one-stop hubs where victims could access legal, medical, and psychological help. For Clinton, this wasn't about political capital, it was about justice. She had studied law not to climb a corporate ladder, but to defend those who couldn't defend themselves. And throughout her career, as First Lady, Senator, and Secretary of State, she consistently used her influence to amplify marginalized voices. Linda later became a volunteer at the same shelter that once helped her. She mentored other women going through custody battles, often telling them, "I thought the system was rigged against me. Then someone with power chose to stand beside me." And for Hillary Clinton, that choice to act when others looked away was never about headlines. It was about integrity. Because for all the controversies that followed her public life, there were quiet moments like this, moments when a woman in pain found strength not because of a policy, but because one person refused to let her fall through the cracks. And sometimes that's the most powerful kind of leadership, not from a podium, but from a place of compassion,